AI will take your job and crypto will make you not need a job. That was said by CZ, one of the richest people in crypto. In today's video, I'm going to break down how crypto did change my life. I'm going to be open and transparent on how it changed my life, but the key factors that allowed my family to become financially free. That's the key to this. There is no get rich quick. There are moments in time in society in cycles where you can take advantage of shifts economically, macroeconomic, microeconomic, and massive, massive changes in society. And crypto is one of them. So I always share with you guys exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to share with you how it impacted my life and how it changed my life. But the key is I made sure that I understood how these ecosystems work. So we're first going to talk about CZ. We're going to watch a few videos really tying things home on what is actually happening here. Franklin Templeton, think about that. These are some of the biggest banks in the world. You got Fidelity. Go on Fidelity's website. Any of you have a Fidelity account? On Fidelity, you can invest in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Solana. So the important part about this is to really get out of that get rich quick mindset. I think we've all been punked by the Hopium. I think that era is dying out. I think that now we're in the real world solve utility and really getting your shit together and understanding what's going to be here when the dust settles. Okay. Pull yourself to a 30,000 foot overview, get out of the emotion, and set a strict plan. Lock in, put your blinders on, and go all in the next 3 years. So first, we're going to look at CZ's post, and I would love to hear your feedback down below and your thoughts behind this. I agree with him. 100% agree with him. Why? It's because my life has been dramatically affected by cryptocurrency. Okay. He says AI will make you jobless. Completely agree. I've been warning people that the middle class is going to get wiped out. This is what Jerome Powell said. Leverage source technology moving down to the working poor. Remember, the middle class is a new concept, guys. It was engineered after World War II for safety. Pensions, 30-year mortgage, auto loans, monetize against your future labor. That's the trap that they put you in. And now AI is coming to take away your job. So you better reskill. You better take your income and learn how to invest to beat inflation. Now, the next line he says is crypto will make you not need a job. I completely agree with that. If you can be patient, pick the right investments, hold for a long enough period of time, there will be a moment that it will change your life. Now, I can only say that because my life has changed. Buy and hold now, retire in a few years. He says, if crypto would allow you to retire already, raise your hand, right? And then there's all these comments down below. Now, I'm going to share with you what I did, okay? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to show you the Franklin Templeton. Let me just show you this real quick. We'll do this on Monday. Franklin Templeton, they talk about digital assets, crypto regulation to become global reality this year. But I think this is more important. Let's talk about this, okay? So again, my channel is all about authenticity and transparency. I'm not telling you what to invest in. What I'm trying to teach you guys is you don't need the next best crypto. You don't need to chase price predictions. You need a system, okay? When I realized that I needed to implement the same discipline system that I do physically and spiritually into my financial walk, everything changed for me. And here's how I learned the lesson, okay? In 2020 to 2022, I first started out in crypto. I had about $3,000 in XRP. I got introduced to it. I think it was end of 2019. I can't remember if it was like December 2000. It was really early 2020. I get introduced to crypto, okay? XRP specifically. So I went $3,000 into XRP. So that's how I started. I had a company. I still have a company. I have 6 companies now. And I've been at business for a long time, guys. This isn't my first rodeo. I have 6 companies: information, technology, financial services, education. Next door is a gym, okay? We got shut down in the pandemic. So I was in a vertical strategy. I went to school, got a job, had a 401k. I was a banker, vertical strategy, okay? Had a bunch of debt, didn't know how money worked. I traded income for debt, gave away my future labor, okay? Then I did the entrepreneurial journey, was in the business, hadn't scaled the business, and had crypto, vertical strategy, right? This is what I'm trying to teach you guys. No strategy, just hoping that crypto was going to save me. I got addicted to the hopium, the hype, all the bullshit. turned 33,000 into 30,000. I think I was around 33,000 around when the pandemic came. And then all of a sudden, our business was taking off. So I had my first six-figure company, and I had, so I was already an entrepreneur doing this stuff. Okay. So a lot of people, oh, I've been doing this for a long time, guys, 8 years. So my business starts to take off. My crypto starts to take off. And then boom, the pandemic hits and takes, this is important, takes away my income. Okay. Now I'm looking up and I have this $30,000 portfolio. So what my old self would do is be like, shit, well, I'll take the 30,000 and I'll use that to live, to survive. No, I was like, wait a minute. I believe that this could free my family. Okay. Now that was in a hopium mindset, but thank God that I actually went through that. Then it started skyrocketing. We went through the bull run, right? And I'm like, holy shit. And I mean, if any of you went through this, I mean, you're making thousands a day. And I'm like, holy cow. And it's just shooting up and it's shooting up. And immediately I realized that that's not natural. That's not normal. Okay. I had made more money than I probably would have my whole life as an executive for retirement from 2020 to 2022. So what we did was, and that's how we created Merlin. We used to have spreadsheets, like in our academy, we still have the spreadsheet. Is I created a spreadsheet with a couple people within my community, and we started tracking on the way up. Okay. And I was like, this isn't natural. Okay. Because it wasn't natural. That's not how money works. Money compounds every 7 years at 10%. Every 7 years, money compounds at 10%, the eighth wonder of the world, right? Einstein. So I was like, this isn't natural. This isn't normal. And so I studied everything about money. How does money work? How is money created? The fact that we're paid in debt. And I'm like, what if I start to create an ecosystem? And I started to back off the hype, the hopium. And, I fully admit that I was that guy. I mean, it gets you a lot of views, man, the price predictions and the hope and the riddlers and what the Simpsons are saying. But do you really think Warren Buffett's looking at what the Simpsons are saying? Do you really think Ray Dalio gives a shit what the Simpsons predicted? Okay. You agree with me? Give me a thumbs up. If not, probably not the guy to follow. And I started to mature a little bit. I'm like, listen, this isn't natural. So I started pulling profits. And I created my first insurance policy in 2020. I'm like, let me start to protect some of my wealth, right? So we started protecting wealth. We started understanding protection at an elementary level, right? But I really started to study this. I'm like, wait a minute. Ray Dalio's changing world order. There's massive cycles that happen over and over again. And this is not different. So I started backing off the hype, backing off the hopium. And I'm like, let me build an ecosystem. So with my profits, I went from one company to two companies to three companies, and three of my companies now, years later, are in heavy profit. I still have three that are still building. So is entrepreneurship the greatest way to build wealth? Absolutely. Is the hardest way? Absolutely. So knew I was going into the later years of my life, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need to create cash flow. I keep creating active income. I keep creating businesses that I have to actively manage. And now I've scaled them, but I still actively manage my businesses, right? And so then I started studying cash flow, the difference between income and cash flow. Income is what 99% of people watching this have. You get paid for labor. Okay. You labor, and the only way you can make more income is to do what? To give up more time. Okay. And then you get paid in someone else's debt. There's no real money system. And then you monetize a $60,000 car when you make $100,000 a year because you can't actually afford that car. So you give up future labor by extending that car out over 72 months. And then you get a 30-year mortgage. So you give up so you buy a home and a car you can't afford, but you're able to extend it out over, this is the key, over 30 years and 72 months. Why? Because the banks make money off interest. So the more they can trap you in debt. So I'm like, wait a minute. What if I take my profits, I buy income, or I build businesses that create more income? Okay. So in 2021, my income was here, right? And I had about 15% of my income was my living expenses. I got back on my feet, got into an apartment. 15% of my income was my living expenses. Well, as my income dramatically increased, what I did was I kept that 15%. Then I bought a single family home, 1,800 square foot home. My kids moved in there. I did become a millionaire during that, but I only had 1,800 square foot home, small little family home. And so my output stayed percentage to my 15% to my input, right? Well, the gap, what I did was, is what I'm teaching you guys, what I want you to do over the next 4 to 5 years is the gap that got increased, whether it was through price appreciation, whether it was through the businesses I created, I kept investing. Okay. So why did I invest instead of store it in my bank? Because I saw that Biden created massive printing, raising rates. Okay, so they printed a ton of money, they devalued your currency, and then boom, they had to throw rates back up. So you lost 24% of your purchasing power. And I was stuffing my money into XRP and Bitcoin. Okay. So I was taking cash flow. I created cash flow. Then I started buying dividends. So I have income and dividends going into assets. Assets are offensive. They go up and down. Okay. You do not want to be just in offense, right? You don't want to be just in XRP. That's offense. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and you're going to be emotional and you're going to get wrecked in panics though. So when went up, okay, I pulled profits and then I put it into P, protection. Okay. I use cash value life insurance, silver, copper, Berkshire. These are things that I just added copper and Berkshire to my portfolio because I'm starting to get older. So I'm starting to get a little bit more in the defensive. I'm starting to kind of like my offensive. I'm starting to change just a little bit. Just so it's not or, it's and offensive and defensive. Okay. So the protection component, my life insurance is the bank. I borrow over here. Most of society borrows here. They get income, then they borrow, giving away future labor. Okay. I take income, I create cash flow, I buy assets, I get protection, and I leverage over here. I only leverage until all this is fulfilled. And then I leverage to do what? To buy more cash flow, to buy more assets. And when I want a liability, I buy it with OPM, an asset. Could be a dividend. Does that make sense? And so, what we're about to experience and what CZ is talking about, yes, AI is going to take people's jobs. You're going to have to reskill. So, what you should be doing right now, I don't care what you invest in, I'm going to tell you what I'm invested in. What you should be doing is reskilling your brain and understanding that your income first should go into assets that beat inflation. That's it. I don't care what you invest in. What I invest in, XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, Solana, HBAR, VeChain top 7, my top 4 by 2030. I'm just going to stay focused, hyper focused in the top 4, XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, and Solana. There's no reason for me to go. Everybody's like, what about this one? You can do your thing. That's what I'm focused on. Okay. Hyper focused on those top 4 in crypto. I'm going to keep stacking and racking those. Okay. Stock side, American Bitcoin, XXI. Those are the 2 main stocks I have. Now, why? Because it's my zone of competency. I understand digital assets. That's my point. You should go into what you understand and have conviction. So people are like, ABTC keeps collapsing. Good, I'm buying more because I have zone of competency and I understand that and I have conviction in American Bitcoin and XXI. Okay. So when people come on and comment, they're like, oh, it's like when you're commenting and saying it's collapsing, I'm buying it because it's my zone. If you feel that way, then don't buy it. That's why billionaires use astrology, millionaires use charts. I'm trying to teach you guys a game. What I'm giving you guys is not sexy. It sucks. It's hard. It's difficult, but it will free you. I promise you. Okay. So those are my assets. Okay. That's offensive. When I profit, I stuff into defense, protection. Number 1, cash value life insurance. It's the greatest tool ever created in humanity. Tax code 7702A that was created in 1913, ironically, that allows you to borrow against insurance policies tax-free. So I got protected principal, market-like returns. When markets come collapsing down, I've insured my actual profit. Pretty cool, right? And I can borrow. This is the key factor. Like a family bank, I can borrow against my cash value of 5%. That's the hurdle rate. And I can go back in when everybody's running from crypto and I can buy, multiplying my money, turning $1 into 2 and then $2 into 3, put it back in the market for the next bull run because you don't have to pay it off. Comes off the death benefit, but I do pay it off. When it goes up, I pull, boom, and now I have free assets. I borrow to buy assets. I borrow to buy cash flow. Humanity borrows, Americans borrow to buy shit that takes away from their future labor. Is this, I want this to sink in. I'm going to repeat this over and over because once you start to see it, you can unwire it because the indoctrination came from our grandparents. It's not their fault. They went through the Great Depression. They rocked them. So when they came out of World War II, they were looking for safety and security and they packaged it up in this pension. And then later on, the 401k came out. But first was the pension and a white picket fence and a 30-year mortgage. And they subsidized mortgages and you could live off one income. We can't anymore, guys. You got to wake up. You're taking advice from your grandparents and your parents. It's not their economy. My parents did it right. They have everything paid off. They're old school. Kudos to them. They have probably a ton of I have no idea what their finances are. We don't talk about finances in our family, right? I talk to my kids about finances. My kids know everything. They know my daughter's 21. My son knows what my son's 10. He knows what assets and liabilities. We talk openly about finances. They know our net worth. They know how much money we make. I show them how much money we make because I want them to understand money. My parents did a great job though. But here's the thing. They bought their house in 1973 for $25,000. It's now worth $400,000. Someone would say that's growth. That is not growth because if they sold it, they could move into the same neighborhood. That is devaluation of their currency. So what the elites do is they print the money. It's cheap at the top for them. It gets really expensive because by the time it gets to us, it's stacked with interest. Goes to the bank, they add interest, boom, 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 gets to you, and you're trading time for debt. You take away your future labor for more debt, and now you're trapped in the system. So, yes, are they going to lower rates? Fantastic. Are they going to give you some stimulus checks? Fantastic. It ain't going to help you because you're going to go buy. The reason why they want to lower rates is because there's only debt in the system, guys. There is no real money. They can only keep you trapped in the system. They want you to refinance your car. They want you to refinance your home. They want you to do a 50-year mortgage. We need to rewire the education system and teach kids what money actually is. If you told a kid at a very young age that you're going to go work your ass off 40 hours to 50 hours away from your family, and guess what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you someone else's debt. And then I'm going to have you go get a car and a credit card because you tell your kids you got to get good credit, and that's going to bury you. And you're going to be stressed out after 10 years. You're going to be thinking about your bills when you're sitting there supposed to spend time with your family. Do you think they would do it? No. But if you sat down with a kid and you say to them, hey, this is an asset. A car is a liability. Okay. Like my son, if you ask him, I say, what's an asset? He said, well, a home can be an asset, right? So he explains what an asset brings you value. I say, what's a liability? He said, it takes from you. He said, what do you call it? He said, he called it like a little goblin or a monster that takes money from you. I said, is a car an asset or liability? He said, it's a liability on the personal side. You can move it to the business side and it becomes an asset. Okay. Because it can give you some tax benefits. I just really want to drive this home with you guys. And this is what my content's going to be all about. I'm building a huge project behind the scenes. I'm going to be launching something around, I think, April or May that is going to go worldwide, that is going to really peel back the curtain on the system. And it's going to tell you the truth because the truth will set you free. Study why they chain a baby elephant to the tree, guys. They chain a baby elephant to the tree as a baby elephant so that when it becomes an adult, that when they put a chain around the elephant's leg and they attach it to a tree, it can break the chain, but it doesn't know it. It has so much strength. It'll literally snap the chain in the tree, but it can't, and it won't. It can, but it won't because it's been indoctrinated to feel that chain as a baby. That's how the monetary system works, but the monetary system is broken. And that's why Bitcoin is getting so much attention. That's why silver's at an all-time high. So it is time to wake up. It is the red alarm. It's the red alert right now. We are moving into a new monetary system. Now you have to decide what it is. I'm just doing the best I can to I'm just a dude on the internet. I have no deep insight. All these influencers are lying to you. There's nobody telling a TikToker and a YouTuber in the levels of elites. You really think they're going to a TikTok and you'd be like, I'm going to give you the insight. Come on, guys, use logic. So be careful, use discernment. When someone's like, oh, I have the insight. No, they don't. Nobody's coming to a YouTuber or a TikToker and telling them, if they are, they're using them as a pawn to distract you. The more hypey it is, run as fast as you can. Unfortunately, it takes discipline. Unfortunately, it's going to take patience. Unfortunately, it's going to take you getting your emotions under control and maybe getting an exercise plan and a spiritual plan and a financial plan. And stop letting other people manage your money. Take sovereignty of your wealth. And after February 20th, 2026, the great mutation is here. Everything's going to start to get exposed in the financial system. And it's not a flip of a switch. They're not going to erase your debt. Things are going to change. It's going to be a very different system, but nothing's going to change unless you do. So I hope this reaches your heart well. I'm very grateful and honored to even have this microphone and this ability to share this with you guys. But like I said, I'm working on a big project that'll be released in April. Man, I will need your guys' help to get it out to the world because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of people manipulating us around money. I'm tired of seeing people broke. I'm tired of seeing, fathers, these men who go out there and have children and don't take care of their children. I'm tired of seeing single mothers struggling and working two jobs. I'm tired of seeing parents, goddamn parents, having to work two jobs. And it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Makes me you didn't do anything wrong. We were indoctrinated into this. But the thing is, you have the knowledge now. And knowledge is not power unless you do something. You don't need two cars in your parking lot. You don't need $120,000 worth of cars when you make $60,000. Okay? You got to live below your means until your means will allow you to live the way that you want. And it's going to be difficult, but it's fucking difficult not being able to pay your bills. And it's fucking difficult looking your kids in the eyes and saying, you know what? It's going to be a rough Christmas this year but we got this big ass house and I got the four-wheeler in the garage and I got the big jacked up truck and I got the boat and I got all these things. But guess what? We're going to have a rough Christmas this year. Again, it's not your fault. We were bred and indoctrinated into this, and freedom isn't free, guys. I'm telling you, America, I'm proud to be an American. I serve my country. I've built 6 companies in America. I have this platform that I can speak, but what I'm not proud of is how sloppy we are. We're the most addicted. We're the most broke. Well, we're the richest country in the world, the top 10%, but the rest are surviving, battling out in the streets. We have to get our shit together, guys. But a key is to become a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a war. We don't need more gardeners out there on the streets protesting about shit. And when you peel back the curtain, you realize their lives are all messed up. We're all messed up, man. So I'll get off my soapbox. I love you guys. I appreciate you with all my heart. Description of the video down below on YouTube. You have all the resources you need. I have the free book as well. I do have a big, and I'm going to need your guys' support. I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to ask for you guys' support. I have a huge project I'm just passionately working on right now. I'm just locked the F in posting and ghosting, and I'm building something that will educate the world. It's part of my Capital DR strategy that's coming out. I invented Capital DR because it's not an investment. It's a system. It helps people break free from the indoctrination. But the problem is it's selling you discipline and consistency. It's not selling you the next best token, a price prediction. It's selling you hard work and dedication. But I promise you, on the other side of discipline is freedom. Love you guys. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Let's go.